everyone, welcome back to the XSP Green Monster channel. My name is Riley and today I'm going to be talking about battery chargers and why it's important to keep your batteries fully charged. So I'm going to go down, I'm going to take all the batteries out of the Monster, I'm going to bring them back up here, and I'm going to talk about my battery charger from XS Power and kind of give a little bit of a review on that, but as well as just talk about the importance of charging your batteries properly. So I'm going to get right to it. There's going to be a little bit of footage of me taking out the battery from the underneath the hood, and then we're going to come back up here and I will talk about all the stuff I said before. Back up in the apartment now, I got all the batteries up here and they're all sitting down there. Just got the charger set up so that I can show you guys. So the first thing I want to talk about is the importance of charging your batteries. This doesn't have to be done every single day. I know a lot of people that charge, they'll get the truck home, they'll plug it in, they'll get it charged in the car audio world, but it is important so that you keep the resting voltage of the batteries up where they can actually recover themselves. So all batteries have some sort of internal recovery charge. It's minuscule. It's tiny. It's a tiny amount of amps, but it's what's naturally generated through the process that a battery goes through between anodes and cathodes, and it provides a little bit of amperage, and that's what keeps batteries up in the 12.2, 12.8 range resting. So that's what's really important, is that you keep it in the range where it can actually keep itself at that level. That's why if you have a battery, sometimes it'll get down to like 11 and it can recover itself over time. But as soon as you start getting down to like the 10 to 9 range where it starts, that's where it no longer has the ability to recover itself. So this is why it's important to keep your batteries charged. You want to keep them to where they can recover themselves, because then you're not trying to bring the battery up to its steady state voltage in the 12 range, as well as overcharge it to 14.4, which puts extra strain on your alternator and on your system, and it doesn't give your amps as much current because the batteries are sucking up some of that current. So that's why it's important to charge your batteries. I'm sure that most of you have noticed that if your batteries are low and you're trying to demo or you're trying to run your car, it doesn't seem like they're outputting as much as they normally do. It seems like the car is working harder, it seems like the alternators are working harder, and that's because some of that amperage is actually going into the batteries to help them stay at their steady state voltage of 12.2. Even if you're at 14.4, that difference of wherever they're sitting, you have to make up for that in amperage going into the batteries. So that's where it comes to why I think it's important to have a good charger. It doesn't have to be a top of the line charger. It doesn't have to be a bottom of the line charger. It's just having a good charger that can actually handle, that can do trickle charges, it can handle deep cycle batteries, and there's some that can even do lithium. I've heard really good thing about NOCO chargers. I've heard really good thing about a few other brand chargers I can't think of right now. But I have heard a lot of good things about a lot of chargers, and even some of the old school ones work very well as long as they have trickle charging and as long as they have special cycles for recovering batteries and for charging batteries and for doing all that. So what I'm specifically going to be talking about today is the XS Power PS060 IntelliSupply. So I got this for the car because it's mountable inside my car and it has a remote screen where I can monitor where the batteries are at, and it can also handle charging banks, which I really like. So it's up to 60 amps of supply voltage, so I could have this plugged in while I'm demoing, have an extra 60 amps of energy going into the batteries, which would just help the alternators, especially when the car gets like a big spike in amperage pull from maybe like a really sharp bass hit. This can help to just keep up that and not have the alternators working as hard. I could also have this on so I could do demo with the car off. Obviously I wouldn't be able to demo as hard and the voltage will still drop a lot lower, but it will keep the voltage a little bit better and it'll help batteries to recover after a strong pull. And that's one of the things where this is where the whole lithium versus AGM argument starts, is because lithiums have a much faster recharge and discharge rate, so they can recover much faster and they can discharge energy much quicker, whereas AGMs, they take a little bit to recover and they don't discharge quite as fast as a standard lithium does. And neither of them discharge as fast as capacitors can, because what capacitors are designed to do is to store energy and then discharge in almost an instant, as much energy as they can hold. That can be another video as to why I don't think capacitors, the traditional capacitors, supercap banks are another thing, but traditional capacitors don't work well in most car audio applications. But I'm going to be talking about this for right now. So here's the IntelliSupply. I'm going to sit down so I can show you. So this is what you get. It's a pretty big unit, but it has all the mounting holes and mounting hardware, so I can mount it inside my vehicle. It has cooling, has an on-off here, and then you can also turn it on and off from the controller. And then it has little buttons over here to select the voltage ranges, so I could charge 12, 14, 16 volts on this, and it has a charge mode, a recovery mode, and then the power supply mode. So I really like all this, and I think it works very well. It also has a temperature sensor, so it monitors temperatures of batteries. If it were to ever get too hot and it notices batteries are overheating, it will shut off and it won't dump any more charge, since charging batteries does cause heat. So the next big thing I like is this screen. So as you can see, it's telling me that this battery is fully charged. Right now it's at 13.4 with the resting voltage on it. If I were to, I can shut it off. So now it is not charging anymore. You can see it turned off. I can turn it on from here, and this is a mountable unit, so I can put this up in my dash or something. So there's a standby. You can see it kind of doing stuff. And this is what it looks like when it's putting power in. So it's at 13.4. You can see right now it's doing 0 amps. That's this number down here. It shows the stage of the stage of the battery charge, and then it also shows the mode you're in. So this battery's already at full. And I'm charging these all up before they go fully back into the truck, because I want fully charged batteries going in when I connect them all, so that they don't try and discharge into one another. So you can see this one's full, but I really like this unit. This is a nice little thing right here, and this is something that I think really puts this one over the edge. So I can connect another power wire from this to a bank, like these 4 batteries are going back. That's my front engine bay battery. It's why it's so much dirtier. So I can set this up to charge banks individually. So it will supply power to this individually from supplying power to my front battery, which I really like, and I think that's a really good thing to add into these. You can see I threw a quick Anderson connector on here. I believe it came with the Anderson connector actually, which I really like. But I will be setting this up so that I can charge the bank and I can charge my front battery. But yeah, that's basically my review of this. I've charged a full battery. I recovered one of the XS Power batteries with this, and it worked very well in the recovery mode. It takes a long time, but that's because it's applying very small amperage to help it recover from the 0 and to help bring the cells back into working order. So that's about it for this one. You can see my super dirty battery down here. It needs to get cleaned up. That's the difference between having one in your engine bay and having one in the back. All these ones still look really good, and these are D3400s, not D3400Rs, but when I replaced the stickers on them, XS Power only had the R version, and I didn't think it was that bad to have the D3400R on it. They have the same specs anyways. But yeah, that battery down there needs a whole lot of cleanup because it is really grimy. It's been sitting in the front of the car for probably 4 to 5 years now. So I need to clean that up. I need to sand down those terminals so they look clean. And then these are all ready to go back into the car. So that's going to do it for this one. I know this was just a lot of me talking, was a lot of me showing it, but I do highly recommend getting a good charger for your system. I do really like these XS Power batteries. Supply chargers, they have a lot of different ones. This is one of their top higher end models, but they do have a lot of lower end models that are a little bit more affordable, and they also have some new ones coming out that are going to be really good, but they have a lot of functionality. I like the overheating control because on a really hot day you don't want to be dumping much power into batteries that are already hot. and heating them up more and possibly causing some serious meltdowns of batteries, which is never good because they are very toxic elements. But I hope you guys did enjoy. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.